Hello, my name's Paige. I'm a TEFL teacher. I travel. I live here in Prague, Czech Republic, but not for very much longer because I'm gonna move to another country. Hi. Oh, thank you. Okay, so basically I'm in the process of leaving and it's brought up undoing all the stuff I had to do to get here, basically. So I thought I'd make a video about the visa process as much as I can. This is like another video I'm making because it's the kind of video I look for when I move somewhere, so I can like kind of prepare myself. So if you're thinking about moving to Prague, this might be helpful or useful or something. The visa process is really complicated and I'm not an expert on it, so this isn't like a step-by-step how-to guide, just more me talking about my experience and what I remember. I did it like 3.5 years ago now, so it's been a while, and it can't be really anyone else's step-by-step guide because I arrived like 3 weeks before lockdown started. So I had a very unique visa experience when I moved here. So this is just like some of my tips and story from somebody who did it before, basically. It's not exactly how you do it. You need, tip number 1 is to hire an agent to help you, so you need help anyways, so don't just listen to me, please. Okay, so the first thing I wrote on my little list of notes here is that you're likely going to have a visa agent, somebody who helps you do it. I came here and I got a business license, and a lot of teachers either have a visa agent through the school, which they already have a job at, or you come here and you get a business license and then you find like a freelance job or a contract job with a school. And that's what I did. So I had to find my own visa agent. If you already have a job, they likely have a visa agent or have a suggestion of visa agent for you. And yeah, so you're gonna get here and basically start the whole process by paying someone to help you get your visa. And I paid 9,000 Czech crowns, I think, for my visa agent. I don't remember exactly. There are other fees that come with a bunch of the paperwork and stuff, but they're not like the most inexpensive part of the process for sure. But in my experience, unless you really speak Czech, it's necessary. Yeah, it's kind of just the process here is that you need to have a visa agent with you. Okay, so my inspo to make me kind of remember to do a video like this was yesterday. I was just going through and like undoing a bunch of the stuff, canceling a bunch of the stuff I had to sign up for, and it was a ton of paperwork. So basically, the next thing is prepare for a ton of paperwork. And the first thing you're gonna have to do even before you leave your own country is to save money, because one of the parts of the visa application is that you'll have a letter from your bank that says you have a certain amount. When I moved here, I wanna say it was 6,000 to 8,000 USD. And this is, I assume, like everything on this list of paperwork and all of these procedures and things, it can change at any time, so that's why you shouldn't just follow my advice. But you need a certain amount, and the amount is also connected to the amount of time they let you stay here. So if you hit the lower end, maybe they'll give you a 6-month visa. If you hit the higher end, a 1-year visa, etc. Gosh, I already feel like I'm not making sense. Okay, in order to come here, you have to have a clean criminal background, so you do a criminal background check, and I think you can do it before you come. I ended up doing mine. I'm from the States, and I ended up doing mine here at the embassy in Prague. It took some extra time, and yeah, really all this stuff just depends on where you come from and what your visa agent tells you to do. That's what my agent had me do. So yeah, I had a background check from the embassy here in Prague. My next note, I put the visa application and the Živno application together because if I remember correctly, during this time, it was kind of like they only let you get the Živno if you get the visa, and the visa only lets you have the visa if you get the Živno. So you kind of go back and forth between these two offices, and they, like, one of them has to give you a letter that says, like, I'm in if you're in. And then they swap, and they say, okay, if you're in, I'm in, and then you swap. So you're just going back and forth doing all this. There's more paperwork to fill out with the Živno, that's the business license. And there's a ton of paperwork for the application for the visa. But yeah, you just do all this paperwork, go back and forth to the offices, give each other different documents, and hope that everyone is in at the end of the day and that all the paperwork is done correctly. The next part of the process in Czech Republic is that you do an interview. You hand in all of this paperwork that you need, the application and everything else that shows that you've gone through the whole process, and you hand it into an embassy, but you do it outside of the Czech Republic. So a lot of people go to Germany or Austria. So I went to the Czech embassy in Austria, and I handed in all my paperwork, and then you go and you do an interview, and they just ask you questions like about any education and experience you have, why you want to be here and work here and experience the culture here, and yeah, just nice things like that. The interview wasn't difficult or scary. It was just, I think there were just a couple people working in the office that I went to the day I was there, and I sat down with a woman, and she kind of looked at some of my paperwork and asked me questions, and that was it. Kind of just normal interview. It was fun. It was fine. All right, the next couple things, I don't remember exactly what order I did it in, but it's all necessary to kind of finalize the process and live here legally. And that's the police registration, and then signing up for insurance and the social security office. You need to pay insurance monthly and social tax monthly, and of course you need a bank account to be able to do all of that. So for the police registration, you have to go do that in person again as well, and you have to fill out some paperwork. I really don't remember what the police registration was about. The only thing I remember at the time is that I needed to go get a COVID test to get in, and so they turned me away the first day, and at that time the only place to get a test was in the airport, so I went all the way to the airport and sat there for 6 hours waiting for my test, and then the next day I went back and they let me in and said I didn't actually need the test that day. So that's what I remember about police registrations. Like I said, my experience was just craziness. It was in the bad timing of early 2020. But yeah, you get registered, and then you need to go to the insurance office, you need to go to the social tax office, and do a bunch more paperwork, fill out all sorts of documents, then you need to have a bank account, and yeah, hopefully have a job so you can start paying for all that stuff. Did any of that make sense? Or is this just another video of me rambling on about stuff that I don't explain very well? The visa process, all in all, takes something like 3 months. It can be longer, it can be shorter, depending on how things process or how the paperwork goes. I really liked my visa agent. She was lovely and she was really helpful and there to answer all questions, and I used her multiple times because I stayed here multiple years. Another thing is, at the beginning of the whole process, you actually need to have an address in Prague already, or in the Czech Republic. You don't have to live in Prague, of course. But yeah, so before even applying for the visa, I had to have an apartment rented. So there's another, financial part of it. You need to be prepared to rent an apartment straight away, basically. I don't know, what else? Seems like this list is too short now. It takes ages, and it's so much hard work. It's terrible. This is like, try to give a more realistic, living in Prague, awesome. Going through this process, it's not fun. It's very satisfying at the end when you have a visa and you don't have to do it again for a whole nother year. So yeah, I'll call that the end, sure. that's just some things that I remember about it, and feelings, and some stories and tips from me. I'm, like I said, leaving the country now, so I'm going through the process of canceling. I moved out of my apartment, I canceled the insurance, canceled the Živno, canceled the social tax, and I've actually ended up paying a company to do that for me as well, because just going through and trying to find the information that they want in all Czech documents, like piles and piles of Czech documents, was really difficult. And I sat around for a few hours and tried to do the best I could, and by the end of it I was like, nope, I'm gonna hire a professional to help me do this. Goodbye Prague. Goodbye Prague content. You're so cute, bud. You're so cute. Okay, I guess that's it. If you move to Prague, please hire a visa agent, or have your company give you a visa agent, whatever, however it works. And, you know, have some fun, man. Enjoy. I hope it was helpful. If anybody wants to ask me any questions, just follow me on Instagram, send me a message. Again, I'm not a visa expert. I just keep moving places. You want to move to Wales? You want to move to Wales? We can go to the seaside. That sounds nice, right? You want to walk on the beach? You want to? Okay, we will. Thank you for watching. Just have a nice day. Okay, bye. Bye-bye. What? I don't feel. Hello, everybody. Future Page here. Clark and I live in Wales now. We're here, and it's been a year since I made that video. I was just going through a bunch of old stuff and I found that footage, so I figured I'd put it up anyways. I don't know. Like I said in what you just watched, I'm not an expert and things are changing all the time. It's like government bureaucracy, so it's all gonna be out of date technically anyways. But I found some things, and I had someone ask me recently on Instagram about how I went through the process, so I figured I'd add a little bit more to what Past Page said and just talk a little bit more about moving to Prague and the visa process and what I went through, my experience. So basically, first of all, it's important to say, like, I'm from the States, and so things like that criminal background check at the embassy in Prague is, like, obviously quite specific, so I don't know if anybody from any country could do that sort of thing. A lot of the visa process you can start when you're in your own country. The tip number one, get a visa agent. Like, as soon as you're interested in moving to Prague, just contact one and see what the process is. Okay, I'm back. My memory card just got full up and gave out on me, but what I was saying is, if you go, the first thing you do is get a visa agent, ask them about the process. It'll be specific to your country. They'll have the most updated information, and there's things you can start to do before you leave your country. Like I said, save money. You can get a your bank letter before you leave your country. You can get a proper background check before you leave your country. There's stuff you can probably, other stuff you can probably fill out. There's lots of documents, like I said. So yeah, there's just, yeah, more to it than what I said in the first part, basically. All right, throughout my time, I think I used like 3 different visa agents, and I found a sheet from the first one who I didn't actually end up doing any of the process with because lockdown happened so fast once I arrived. But this is the first one that I was in contact with, and I found a sheet of like some of the first things that she wanted me to do while I was there. When I first arrived, I was signed up for a CELTA course, which got canceled, and I don't have a CELTA. I didn't take the course. It got canceled due to lockdowns, and this was the visa agent that the CELTA course had suggested and pointed me towards. was called Stay in CZ, Živno and Visa. And this is a checklist that she gave me. Things on this checklist, this would be like maybe some of the first things you would have to do. And number 1 was accommodation confirmation. Must be signed in front of a notary by your landlord, and the business address consent form, which requires a simple signature from your landlord. And so that's, like I said, the first thing you need is an address. And I had friends who worked for other companies who are not teachers, who, like, if they came over from somewhere else, their company like had a place for them to stay when they first arrived and went through this process, so they had that address. But if you're freelance like I do, then you have to get a permanent address as soon as you arrive. So renting an apartment is like top of the priority list. And also, like I said, the Živno is a business license. So since I was freelance, and a lot of teachers do this in Czech Republic and in Prague, technically, since you're a freelance business person, your business address can be your home address. I didn't have a job yet, so I didn't have that. And also, this is just the way that they do it. Like, I don't think you're meant to wait until you have a job and then the address is the same address as your job. I think for this specific document, if you're getting a Živno, it's meant to be your home address. I can't explain it. Like, I moved a couple times, so I had multiple apartments, and I had this every time I moved to a different apartment. And the landlords that I had, like, kind of knew it was coming because I was a foreigner, so it's just how it works there, I guess. Next it said affidavit signed by the US Embassy in Prague. So that was the background check thing that I did after I got there. And have it notarized. This one says confirmation from a language school or your employer. So if you have a job already, or maybe since I was in CELTA, they wanted a note from the CELTA school that I was going to. And then the other ones are bank letter and 2 passport format pictures. So for this one, it was just like the first things I needed to do once I arrived there. Also, it's important to note that when I arrived, I was coming from China. So I was living and working in China, and then came to the Czech Republic being from American. So I just like to make things even more complicated. Right, also, I found another sheet, which was from the very last time that I ever went to the offices to do whatever I had to do. And I know this is a new thing. It didn't apply to me because I was sort of sorted out before it was implemented, but I think, so I didn't do it, I don't really know about it, but I have a sheet that is about the adaptation and integration course. And it says, as of the 1st of July 2021, certain groups of foreign nationals have the obligation to take an adaptation and integration course within 1 year of the date of legal effect of the decision to issue their residence permit. So yeah, you're supposed to do this course now as well, which I didn't have to do. But I'm guessing once you go through the process, they'll get you set up probably with a sheet like this and get you class information that you have to go to and make sure that it goes on your residence number or whatever. Somebody asked me on Instagram about my experience, and one of the things we talked about was basically for teaching there you need a TEFL certificate, but some schools even prefer like that you have a teaching license. Like, I'm from the States, you have to have a teaching license. Some schools want things like that as well, like more higher qualifications. But there are there's a number of TEFL schools in Prague where you can go and get certified. And I think with the Živno, you can pick up freelance classes if you're a teacher anyways, and when you get a Živno, you fill out the jobs that you're gonna be, the services that you're gonna be offering. So I checked teaching. I think there's like things in the arts and other things, like it's a business license, so you can fill out for other things to do. But one of the things we talked about was first arriving, and it made me remember that you do need to have travel insurance when you first arrive. That once I got to Prague, they set me up with like a short-term holiday one, so you'll get travel insurance once you arrive as well. And it's travel insurance at the beginning because you're technically on a tourist visa still when you first arrive, so you have like a 3-month tourist visa. Again, just for me, because I'm from the States, it's maybe not everybody's, but we have a 3-month tourist visa, and basically the process should take about 3 months. So if it takes longer than that, you need to leave and come back, but you need to have insurance for the whole time you're there. So you do start with travel insurance, and then once you get on the regular long-term visa, you switch to regular insurance. One thing I said is, in all honesty, the visa process is terrible. It takes ages, it's confusing, and everyone is gonna act like they don't want you there. That pretty much sums it up. I don't know. I've been to a few countries now. I don't enjoy the process of getting a visa. I think if you do enjoy it, then you're a crazy person. Moving abroad is hard work. What are you gonna do? It's a lot of paperwork. It's annoying. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. And like I said, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Not an expert. But I just keep moving it. This was about initially going through it in Prague was about 5 years ago now, because I've been in Wales for a year now. And yeah, I should probably maybe go through, if I want to make a video about moving here, maybe go through it now so I don't make such a hectic, crazy video. Maybe try a nice one. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll say bye now. I'll put some links or whatever in the description. So have a nice day. Bye.